A lot of times people say, well, what exactly is hospice? Hospice can be a very scary word for some, and sometimes it's something that people want to avoid and they don't want to talk about. And so today I just want to have just a real general conversation about what hospice is and just clarify maybe some of those misconceptions that are out there as well. So hospice, to keep it simple, is a Medicare benefit. It's covered under Medicare Part A. And the scary part where people kind of want to steer away from is the true Medicare guideline and definition of hospice. Basically, per Medicare, somebody qualifies for hospice if they have a life expectancy of 6 months or less, as deemed by a physician, if that disease follows its normal course. So let's break that down a little bit. A lot of information right there. And the thing is I like to keep it simple. People can have life-limiting illnesses, whether it be a cancer diagnosis or congestive heart failure or COPD, Alzheimer's. And so these are all diagnoses that we look at from a hospice standpoint in order to qualify somebody. Now, people that have these diagnoses, if they're looking to take aggressive measures to their care, meaning they still want to go to the hospital, they want to seek procedures or surgeries or treatments to possibly cure even their medical condition, that is not something where hospice would come into play quite at that point. Hospice is something for those with those diagnoses that are not wanting to take those aggressive measures. They're just wanting to be comfortable and have as much quality of life as they can and still be in touch with the medical needs that they might have, but in the comfort of their home. So when it comes to hospice and why should somebody choose us, or how does somebody even go about starting the process of seeing if they qualify for hospice? Again, a lot of questions that people have. And really, the first thing I always recommend is just starting the conversation. Whether it's Arizona Care Hospice or if you're listening to this in another state, wherever your local hospice is that you may be familiar with, just simply have a conversation with them. It doesn't hurt to get information. It doesn't hurt to get educated. And that just makes you a better advocate for either yourself or for your loved one that you're inquiring about. And so with hospice, again, it's really that comfort seeking measures, quality approach to care. And so with hospice, you have an entire team available to come into your home. You have an RN, you have a CNA who is a home health aide, you have a chaplain or spiritual support, you have a social worker as well as a medical director who oversees the entire plan of care for the patient, and you also have access to volunteers. So, and the key word there is access. Per the Medicare guidelines, the only person a patient really needs to have come in under the hospice benefit is that RN. So they have access to a social worker, they have access to a CNA, but that doesn't mean they have to have all those individuals coming into the home. It's something that's there available to them. And so we, hospice, come into the patient home. We meet that patient wherever they call home, whether it be a residential facility, whether it be a private home, whether it be a senior living community. We provide care, hospice care, to those that are homeless. Wherever they call home, that is where we go to provide that care and support. Again, it's a conversation that has to start. There has to be a mental state of mind by the patient, because it can be a very scary next step in somebody's care and somebody's diagnosis, and that journey that they're on. And so not only do we want to ensure they meet the black and white criteria, so to speak, of Medicare, we want to make sure that they and their family members are really mentally prepared for that hospice journey. And that's where the team comes in. That's where we have those conversations to better understand how we approach their care going forward. There's a lot of misconceptions out there about hospice. People think that once they go on hospice, they're going to pass in the immediate near future. That could be days or weeks. Not always the case. Yes, depending upon the individual, it could be. But again, it's so individual. People can be on hospice for months. It just depends on their individual situation. And that's where, as a team, we meet with the patient and those that they want involved in their care to better understand where everybody's at and what their specific care needs are.